What's good, everybody? Welcome to Bowler's Paradise. My name is Ben. I'm a USBC Silver Certified Coach, and today we are taking a look at the all-new Absolute Power from Storm. Before we get it going, be sure you subscribe. It's free, it's easy, and it's the best way to help us bring you the best non-biased and cross-brand reviews in bowling. And while you're down there, be sure you hit that notification bell too so you don't miss out on the next review. Storm follows up what many consider to be their most disappointing release of 2023 with the all-new Absolute Power. Inside this piece is the same core used in the original Absolute and one of the strongest ever made by Storm, the Sentinel Core with a 2.48 RG, an 050 differential, and a huge 021 intermediate diff. On the outside of that massive engine is the all-new R2S Deep Solid cover finished to 4000 grit out of the box. For the layout, I went with a 5 by 4 1/4 by 3 2LS layout, which is very similar to what I used on my 900 Global Reality Check. First reason is I really loved that piece, so anything I can do to replicate that performance is worth considering. And second, I see a ton of overlap between that piece and this Absolute Power. Both have big cores and strong but not overly strong covers. And on the lanes, the Absolute Power absolutely wowed me. To be honest, after how disappointing the original Absolute was, I had low expectations, but this one blew those expectations completely out of the water. Even though you can see just how crazy strong the core is, the solid version of this R2S Deep cover matches up with it really well and lets this thing just tear through the pins. But my favorite part about throwing this one is the same thing that I loved about throwing the One Encore from Ebonite. It's just so dang strong that the less you think about what to do with it, the better the results seem to be. Every time I tried to get fancy with it and make it shape, well, the shape stunk. But if I got it off my hand clean and direct, there was almost no doubt that it was going to strike. The trick is in trusting the core to be the strong core that it is and to do the work for you. But of course, that power comes with its trade-offs. And if you don't use this core the right way, the results really aren't there. This is definitely not what I would consider a versatile piece. Rather, it focuses more on creating miss room in the right part of the lane. It's actually kind of a unique feature, but if you're looking for a strong, do-everything type of piece, this ain't it. However, if you were to pair it with a Phase 2 and a 900 Global Eternity, you'd have almost all of your league needs covered. Sure, these are all strong pieces, so you either need a low rev rate or a high volume of oil, but the Phase 2 does exactly what the Absolute Power doesn't in being that do-everything type of piece, and the Eternity bridges the gap between the two in core strength while also being a pearl for some added length when the lanes break down. This would be a sort of all or nothing type of arsenal, but in the right hands could lead to some huge scores. Jumping to our cross-brand comparisons, I first took a look at the Pride Dynasty for Motive, and somewhat surprisingly, I do see a decent amount of overlap between these two. The Pride is a little cleaner through the middle part of the lane and doesn't rev up quite as hard, which makes it a more versatile shape, but with some surface changes, you could very likely get this one to look just like the Absolute Power. Then I grabbed the Mindset from Brunswick, and I see very little overlap. The Mindset is probably the slowest reacting ball on the market today, and its ability to create a sweet spot is pretty limited, especially when compared to the Absolute Power. The Mindset is an ideal option for when the lanes are really tough and you need a piece to give you a lot of control, but to open up this house shot, it doesn't stand up to the Absolute Power. So with that, here's my recommendations on the types of bowlers that I think would match up well with this piece from Storm. The first is low tilt and even negative tilt players. Many times the problem these players face is getting a ball to go through the pins the right way as the lanes transition. The core dominance of this piece will allow these players to stay closer to the friction and roll the ball while letting the core do the work to get to the pocket and through the pins effectively. The second recommendation is for anyone who matches up well with the Black Widow line. I haven't been the biggest proponent of the Black Widow line as I think it's a bit of an outdated idea, but if you like those ones from Hammer, there's a huge chance you're going to like this one from Storm. The general ideas of both pieces is similar, but the Absolute is a more evolved idea, so there's a good chance it matches up with the oil conditions of 2024 more and more often. The all-new Absolute Power is a huge upgrade from its predecessor, and in the right hands, it'll have you striking like a Sith Lord. And you can pick this up today and much more at bowlersparadise.com. Be sure to use the discount code YouTube at checkout for free shipping. Thanking to my friend Nick Pluff for the drilling of this piece, and to Dale's Weston Lanes for letting us film this video. If you haven't yet, like this video, subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell for more ball and product reviews, and as always, remember you guys, having the right ball in your hands, now that's a bowler's paradise. Peace.